Welcome back to the show. Here we are. If something happened to you tomorrow, would your family have clarity or would be left guessing while trying to hold the farm together? If you don't want to know the how, this show is for you. Hello, everyone. I'm Rico. I'm Farmers in Finance podcast. Welcome back. This is episode 20. We are in the 20s. Welcome. Yes, if something was to happen to you tomorrow, this is a question I put out to the show. Would your family have clarity? Oh, and guess what? Today we have back Gaurav is joining us. Welcome, Gaurav. Let's bring him to the stage. Hey,
Hello,
Gaurav.
hello. I will be just live in 2 minutes. So
Yeah.
just saying hi to everyone. Hello, Rico. Mm,
Hey, Gaurav. Good
Nice
to
to
have
be
you back.
back. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes, same
Yeah.
here, same here. Yeah. I will
Okay.
be up in just a minute. Just a minute.
Yeah. I'll give you some
Okay.
time. I'll
You
just
you carry on the show.
introduce.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you heard it. Garv is back, and it's going to be a good show. We're going to talk on the how, but to reframe what happened last week, well, Garv was absent as well. He can be filled in. This show is not about talking about death and all the events. It's just being prepared and ready for what's happens afterwards once you're gone. I know these are crazy conversations, but they are a conversation that need to be there, especially in farming, because farming it's a little bit different. It needs to have clarity for it to continue. And if you want to leave a legacy in farming, you need to have clarity and you need to have um, set plans. And I mean, it doesn't go just to farming itself, but it can expand into other areas of business, right? And if you want to leave something for your family and leave something that you can be remembered by, then proper planning. And so today we are going to talk about what happens and how to make a will. Um, so, having said that, I am a messenger. I can show you the water, but I can't make you drink it. So you'll have to find out your own ways on how to put it into practice, right? And then this, obviously, a big disclaimer, disclaimer everywhere. This is not legal advice. It's not accounting advice. This is just what happens in my life and how I'm experiencing it, and I'm just putting it together for you so that we can just have a conversation about it, and then also to have a conversation with Gav. He's got great viewpoints on all of it, and then to have dynamic conversation with you out there watching the show. And we welcome all comments. We welcome all input, because what my goal is to start the thinking, start the process, start questioning where we're at, so that we can get where we want to go. You know, and I want you to ask better questions as well. And then I want to be real and truthful. And so, what we're going to do today is, why do you think conversations about wills feel uncomfortable, even though they're really about the responsibility that you have as a human being on this planet, in this system, right? Um, I don't know if Garv is ready, but I wanted to ask him that questions, like whenever he has these talks with his clients, how does he get around the point of getting that awkwardness off and started? Um, but let's start with the quote of the day. So, what do we now echoes? What we do now echoes in eternity. Marcus Aurelius. So, the decisions that you do today, even though they're small or big, they will affect future generations. I love this, because this is like a quote that says, like, have you ever wondered about the butterfly effect? That a flapping butterfly can create winds down below, uh, down all over the another part of the planet. I mean, it's just hard to think that way, but it's pretty impactful. What you do every day can make a difference in somebody's life or can change your life. And then just having that vision, that purpose to be there for somebody. And oh, there's Gav back. And then just continuing on. So when you think about your decisions today, which ones do you believe will echo the longest for your family? That's a really important question to ask yourself, ask everyone out there. Okay, well, it seems like Gav can be added to the stage.
Hello,
Welcome back, welcome back.
welcome, welcome. How are you? Hello, everyone.
Very good. How are you?
I am awesome, doing good.
Well, it's good to have you back because I was just starting to feel a little awkward talking to myself on a camera.
No, no, I was there just like finishing things with the little one. He was like, he's sick, little bit sick today. So yes, he was bit demanding on like he was not getting off. So that's why. How's everything? So I was listening on the background. So, yeah, we are discussing a very important topic today. Again, it's not a legal advice. It's not a like a proper professional legal advice, but yes, it is a part of your financial planning, and it is a very important step in your estate transfer. So there, like we will be discussing a lot of things. What is will, how will is made, and how it is different than estate taxes, and how it is different than a probate. So we will discuss all the legal terms. But again, we are not lawyers, okay? But yes, we
Far
help
from
our
it.
yes, and we help our clients to set up a lot of not a lot of, but yes, it is an integral part of your financial planning to have a proper will. And let's go.
Yeah.
Excited to be
So
back.
just recap. I don't know if you watched the last show, but that
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna give you a recap of what happened last week. That was
Mm-hmm.
episode 19. We talked about wills and how they are not just paperwork. It's about leadership. It's about insight, and a lot of people don't know that wealth is lost in transition, not
Yes.
not in accumulation by
Yep.
taxes. And the
Yeah.
biggest point is that you don't want somebody else to make the decision, especially at the government level, because they
Yeah.
will try to keep their best interest. And so
Yeah.
that's what we talked about. And also we talked about how important is an executor and to pick the right one, because
Mm-hmm.
it's not just like a purpose driven, oh wow, I'm an executor for the state of the Manatsa family, but it's actually like it's a job, right? And
Yeah.
there's an administrations, there's finances, there's taxes, and obviously there's a lot of emotions, right, that
Yeah.
come with it, with the job. So then we also discussed the five common mistakes that people do when
Yeah.
they create a will. So the number one is improper execution. So not having the proper signature, not having proper witnesses, and all that. And then having the wrong assumptions of what the will covers, because
Mm-hmm.
when you find out, it's at the end, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's something that it's your family that will bear the burden, right? If you
Yeah.
did it wrong, right? And
Yeah.
then again, that number three was the wrong executor. So
Mm-hmm.
having the wrong person taking over and administering, it could actually delay and cause problems, especially here in BC. I don't know how it's there, but here in BC, that there could be delays in probate, and then it's years after the heirs get their money. And another one is no updating it. So
Yeah.
whenever you acquire a property or an asset and you don't update your will, then you leave it for guessing, the guessing game, right? And if the judge, when he does the probate, it doesn't see the proper allocation of all the assets that you have, then it starts questioning the validity, right?
Yep.
And then number 5, which is not as important as well, is not having proper liquidity. And that's a big one that people find out, that it's like, oh, I thought I was going to get the money in the bank account, but the bank account gets frozen. And then it's like, oh, I can't get that money out because I don't have any money. And then, it causes issues with families and everything like that. So that was kind of like, I framed it kind of like it was the why. And today we're going to talk about the how, right? How to write a proper will. So the question is, I always try to put a question every time I end a part of the show, is, where do you think most families lose wealth? Is it through bad investing or during poorly planned transitions?
I will say both, but if you ask me which one is like the worst, then I will say poor planned transitions, because generational, you might make mistake in investing and then you get smart at it and you have a chance to rebound. But if you have a very bad transition of your assets, your family will never revive that. That's for sure. So both are bad, but in the first case, like bad investing, you get lessons. But in transitions, you don't get lessons. You don't get second chances. It's gone. It's gone. You have to pay taxes. You have to pay taxes, and probate is fees, whatever time. It's wasted. It's wasted. You can't bring that back.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And it's like something that you can't really make a mistake as well, right? Like, I mean, if you made a mistake on how you did your will, like we talked about, there's no turning back. And then also it's like, having the family disclosed in the event of, and be prepared. So this is like, I want it to be like an engagement. I want to promote these talks, because it's like a lot of people don't talk about it. Like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's like, it's not going to happen. Don't worry. Like, you're going to live to 100, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, even when you get sick, it's like, you definitely don't want to talk about it. So it's like, when are you going to talk about it? Right. Like, I believe it's the best time is to do it now. As soon as you can now. It goes back to our quote. Another reminder that I want to have is like, follow us. I'm trying to update as much as I can. Farmers in Finance website. So up on the QR code, you can scan the website. It'll link you up to the website. Follow us on Financial Freedom with Rico. I try to do this every week, and it's been going well, and we've been having some good interactions with people that watch it, and I get asked a lot of questions after the show. So I'm pretty pleased on how it's going. And for me, it's like also a learning lesson as well. It's like, when you learn, you teach, then it's like fully engraved. Like, you can't lose it, right? And
can't lose it.
And then it's like, when I'm discovering, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta really have these talks. Like, this is so important. It's like, it's so essential. So so let's go on to our. So why do farmers need a different will? Like, I want to frame this in the farmer concept, because I am a former farmer, but I'm always a farmer at heart. And Gaurav is also a farmer as well. And there's differences, because farms tend to have more with legacy. People that are farming really want to continue on. They don't want to put all this work and time and efforts and money to just be wasted away, right? So when you're structuring a will for a farm, there is a lot of different things, and we'll see. We're going to do a mock-up will where it's going to show, like, like the land where's the land going, where's the business going, like the goodwill and everything that comes with the will, and family, who's getting what, like
Mhm.
who's more keen to do the jobs that are required in the farm, right? And just try to also the emotions and the tied together that people have with their farms, and so continue on the legacy, right?
Yeah.
And usually, most of the time, as what I've seen is where farm lose their wealth is in transition,
Mm.
because maybe two brothers have different ideas of what they want to do. They have their ideas, and once the father is gone, then it's like, oh, I want to do it this way, no, I want to do it this way, and then there's like emotions get involved, and then it gets like
Yeah.
tragically all that work gets ruined just because there was no plan before, there was no tough talks, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's actually impactful what happens. And then you know like most of the people that make it and go through, I've seen, are the ones that are tight families, like they have plans in place, and they have the discipline to continue, right?
Yeah.
Right, is that what you found out, Gareth?
Yeah, like most of those successful business owners or like multi-generational farmers who are doing really good are the ones who actually are open about these things. Like they teach their generations that, hey, I'm gonna pass away one day, and that's a truth. That's a reality that everyone should accept. And then if you see, they actually talk about it. Like if something happens, what do you want to do about it? You both brothers are there and you want to do something, just let me know. I will make the wills are according to that. And in the families which there are not enough conversations, the things you told that these are important, at the same time these are the same things which become problem at that time. Emotions come out very loud because they have been suppressed, because they have not been discussed. Lands are
Yes.
divided, and once if somebody is, there's no proper will, not discussed, and lands are divided amongst the brothers in such a way that either they don't deserve it or either they don't want it. In both the cases, they have a bitter taste in their mouth, and obviously, probate is there. So, whatever points you highlighted, these points are well discussed in the families which have preserved their business for generations. And let it be like not only one generation, multi generations. And this is actually the blueprint of creating generational wealth, especially in farmers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it kind of goes with every system. I mean, with
Yep.
every business, with every family, but especially for farmers, right? And
Yeah.
and you know what? We need farmers. Like I'm enjoying some fruit juice from the apples that I pick from the farmers out at the in Carmias. And it's just like every time I juice them, I'm like, wow, I'm so glad that there's farmers out there that put all of the work. And how much work it is, right? Like I'm so
Yeah.
appreciative and so thankful that like we live in a world that I can just drive a couple of minutes and then boom, it's like apple galore. Right now there's so many apples, and I'm like, wow. and
Wow.
then and then the health benefits, right, to having good food, local,
Fresh. Yeah.
fresh. Yeah, yeah. And then
Like,
apples last for so long.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I have to think.
how's actually I wanted to ask you, how's winter over there? Is it being pretty good or?
Like again, India is a big country, so we have snow in the north. Then we have like mild winters in my plains, like until Rajasthan, the place
Yeah,
from where we cut down and south starts. On the south, we have like coastal areas, so it is like 24, 25 over there. And in the southern tip, where we touch Sri Lanka, we have
yeah.
like 30, 32. So we have
Wow.
variety of winter in India. So I can go from like multi-layer jackets to a beach surfing sandals, like
Right.
pretty much one flight. I don't have
Wow.
to like worry much about it. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, no, like this year there's barely any snow outside right now.
Oh my
Like
God.
that's insane. Like it's February and we're right in the middle of winter, but there's no sign of winter. It looks like a fall or a spring day today.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been pretty lucky too. I don't know. I think it's lucky.
Maybe,
But
maybe not.
as long as the fruit sets, I'm okay. I mean, we did have a couple of weeks of cold, so
Yeah.
hopefully the fruit sets, and then we're gonna have an abundance year.
Great.
Um, okay, so let's go into the instructions on how to write a will.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the will supposed to do? Well, it's got to have an intent, right? It's got to
Yeah.
have its purpose, its mission statement, so to speak, right? What's written down here? If what follows, it's the intent of the person that passes away, right? Um,
Mm.
the other thing is it has to identify all the family members, the dependents, the partners, whoever is going to be mentioned in the will. It's kind of like the glossary, but you want to put that out at the front so that you are clear, right?
Yeah.
Crystal clear who's involved in the will.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is, which is very important, and I cannot emphasize this part because it's naming the executor. But take it as like you're hiring somebody with a certain mindset. It's kind of like whenever you create a job, it's like, you have to uh, have that mindset that you're hiring somebody uh, to portray your wishes, right? Not just out of honor,
Hmm.
or out of good faith and goodwill, right? It's actually an actual job, right?
Yeah.
And then you gotta be super crystal clear.
Yeah.
You gotta have no assumptions. You don't assume, oh, but John knows this about me. I told him the other day, right? It's like, no,
No.
you gotta be crystal clear. You gotta take
Yes.
up an inventory. You just don't want to do any verbal promises because
Mm-hmm.
those will be, you know, manipulated and construed, especially, like I said last week, especially when money is involved.
Yes.
It's just like last week I said, above 200 grand, some people turn just weird, awkward. And the conversations, you can have as much trust as you want in people, and that's great. But when there is large sums of money involved, it's a different story. Um,
You said too much, Rico. I've seen people changing for $50,000. So 200
yeah.
is a lot. You're someone like you will get $50,000 if you lie something. They will lie for it. I'm telling you.
Well, yes. I mean, think about this. If your brother wins the lottery and he doesn't tell you, how do you
Yeah.
feel about that? Right? It's
Yes.
like, he won the
Hmm.
lottery and he didn't share anything.
Yes. Yes. They
You
will.
know?
Will not share it. Maybe he will give you a party, maybe a couple of beers, or
Yeah.
take you here and there, but he will never share it.
No,
Hmm.
no, right? So it's like, and that is kind of like the same emotion that comes with with the wills at the end, because in truth, or just being blunt, is the person is gone, right? So now you're just dealing with the money, right? With the assets, with the wealth that was left, right?
Yep.
And some people are honor the wishes, and some people are just like, well, I don't want to. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that it's you watching this, or me and Gaurav we're gonna do something strange, but
No, it
it's
is both. it is how the world is. We have to tell everything, like good and bads.
Right.
Can't- It can't be
Yeah.
rosy picture all the time.
No,
There,
it can't be like all this, oh, you'll be fine. Everything will be divided equally. No, there's not going to be any problems. Yeah, right.
yeah,
There's always problems. So think operationally. Okay, so 30 to 90 days after your death, like just visualize it. I know it's a weird exercise to do, but just figure who does what, who decides what's what's staying, what's taking off. I mean, like what we're gonna do with this example is, it's the farm. The farm is not gonna stop when you're gone, right? The animals still need to be fed. The bills need to be paid. You still have clients coming over, and in Garav's case, they're getting their milk and their cheese and everything like that, right? And like the farmers out here in Caramios, they still are selling apples, and they still have to stock up the shelves and everything like that. So what actually happens is you got to prepare for that, right?
Yep.
Hey, listen, you're gone, but if you want something to continue, there still need to be action happening, right? So, and you don't want to be a blockage to that action. You just want to make it easy, simple, and then it's just be like, okay, perfect. And that's how I feel like, when you leave a campsite, for example, clean it up, you know, actually make it better, make an addition, leave something of yourself, give, and then like the next person that comes along is like, oh, I didn't have to do any work, or the campfire was already set up and the wood was chopped and it's ready to start. And then hopefully the next person will do the same, and then that reciprocates, right? So it's kind of the same, the point of the will. Yeah, it's not a conversation that you want to have, but if you have it and you prepare everyone, then it's just such an easy transition. It's like you have a good feeling about the person that left, instead of a rancor and anger towards that person, right? Because he left something, right?
yeah,
Right, Gareth?
yeah. Very well said.
Yeah. So before the paperwork, you actually got to have a clear mindset of what you want your will to accomplish, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So next is, I have my
yeah. This
slides.
we have discussed.
Yeah,
Maybe
this
next
we
slide.
already discussed. Why fathers doing a different approach. Oh yeah, I didn't catch up with my slides.
We have discussed
There,
this also.
we just finished discussing. Okay, so the executor is the most misunderstood role. This is actually a job, like what we talked about, right? It's kind of like you got to think about hiring somebody, right? And I was having a talk to one of my friends, and he actually said that at one point he actually refused to to be an executor on somebody's will, right? Because
Oh,
it's a lot of work,
yeah.
and he was never asked, and then it just turns out that he has to do all this work. He didn't know how to deal with the people and everything like that, the people involved. And then he said, no, I will pass it on, because you can do that, right? Like if you are named executor, you can just say, no, I'm not going to do it. But if you hire the wrong person, then they're going to say, no, I won't do it. Then you're
It will
stuck.
go
You're
through
going to
the
go,
probate.
it's going to
You'll
go
go through
back to probate. Yeah.
So you failed, in short.
So that's again, it's something that it's not discussed, because it's like, oh, the will can fail by all this stuff, but actually it fails if the executor is not properly selected, right? And it's not fully disclosed. And then I talked about it and I researched, and I feel like, if you're taking on a job, you want to provide proper compensation,
Yeah.
and usually like my suggestion after going through all this research and experience, hire somebody or name somebody in your will that is not related to the transactions or to the family. Maybe it's an acquaintance that you can trust, right? But it's not somebody that is involved emotionally, so that you have, and that's most of the time why people hire lawyers, because they
Lawyers,
can,
yeah.
yeah, they can emotionally detach themselves, right? They, because that's their job, right? They don't have to part say or have favoritism. They just gotta, they're instructed, they read the instructions of the will, right? Because that's what it is, and then execute it, right? And that's
Yeah.
what executor is. So yeah, so like I said, the wrong person to choose is probably the close people to you, and just because they are just too emotionally involved, and also sometimes if they're involved with the being beneficiary, that can create some mistrust or second guessing, right? Like if
Yeah.
if if I was named executor on my mom's, then maybe my sisters might ask, like,
Did you influence it?
yeah, right,
Yeah.
is he
Yeah.
executing it properly, right? Like, I mean, obviously you're going to read it out, but is he skipping some steps, or is he getting out of the pot, like, for example, if you set up a compensation schedule in the will, then there's no mistaking, oh, he took too much money out, oh, he paid
Yeah.
himself, right? It's all crystal clear, right? So that's one of the things that I suggest to do. And then also, it's like, if you treat it like a job, then you're like, when you look at this person that you're hiring, so to speak, or you're asking to do this work, will he be fit? Does he have
Yeah.
accounting experience? Does he have good administration?
Legal,
Does
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
Some kind
you
of
got,
experience. You don't
yeah,
hire a newbie for a very important job. Never.
yes,
And it
right,
has to be done only once for you. So, like, it's like, nah, I will not. It's like you're going from one place to other place, and you say, "Oh, you know how to fly the plane?" Oh no, I don't know. Okay, I'll still try. Okay, you will crash it. I'll still try. So it is same like that. It is like a very important job. Very important job.
yes, and then yeah, like you put her exactly right. Like if you want somebody to fly a plane, you don't want to build it as they go along, right? Like
Yeah.
you want to make sure that they're they're properly trained, right? Like and also know, and here we have, like, when you're doing a job, like, what you see is the description of the job, right? So I put
Yeah.
down a little bit of the description of the job of what an executor is, and and disclose it, disclose it to your executor. Hey, this is what I'm gonna ask you of doing, right? Because
Yeah.
other people, I got into this just because of a few probates that have happened, and just the disaster that it has caused, because it was just like all over the place. Even though now, like what we're experiencing, even though now people have the time to prepare, like I'm talking about the story of my old boss. He knew that he was gonna die because the doctor, told him, "Oh, this is terminal. It's really hard to come back." So he started to prepare and put everything in place. So he knew that this was gonna happen. He prepared this will. He went through everything, but still, when he
Hmm.
left, it was just a mess. Like, people didn't know what to do with the assets, who was going to pay the mortgages, and who continue on, where did the money go, and they weren't aware of all of this stuff, right? And then the executors, like, I didn't know I had all this work to do, right? They were all caught up because they didn't understand the process, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we
And
have
anyone can say no.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Oh, you got a welcome back
Thank
from
you.
one of our guests here on the show.
Thank
Oh, and then there's also, I get these comments. I was told that I get them delayed. So sorry if we display them afterwards because I'm still new at this, or maybe there's a little bit of a delay. But um, Prabjit is out there too. Hey, Verk. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. So the duties of an executor. Okay, so administrative duties. You got to do the paperwork. You got to do the court filings, and you got to go at set deadlines, right? And then
Yeah.
you got to have financial management, or you got to hire out somebody to do the accounting. You know, understand what the cash flow. You got to pay all the bills and debts while the
Mortgage.
estate is frozen, right? You got to coordinate the final return. That's
Yes.
a big one,
Very,
right?
yes.
Yeah, that's a huge one. You got to have, you know, ongoing estate obligations with to do with taxes, not just accounting, but also proper paying the GST and everything like that, right? I'm talking about
State
Canada,
capital
right?
gain taxes and everything.
Right. And then you got to maintain operations. And goes to the example of farms, right? You got to hire, still keep going and hire professional. Probably if you're going missing, you probably got to hire somebody else to replace your duties,
Job.
your capacity, your job, right? So then you become a manager as well, right? So there's a lot to go with it, right? And then all of this is to not sell the assets that you want to transfer over to your farm, right? I mean, to your hair, to your family, right? You don't want to sell, you know, like the 2 acre orchard that you have highly producing and is doing well, because it's going to wreck everything like that, right? Like that's what we talked about. One of the common mistakes was liquidity, right? And
Yes.
then the big one, or not so big, is probably the emotional management, right? You gotta talk to each member, each family, because you know they probably have grandkids. You probably have grandkids by that time, hopefully, you know. And then you gotta, you know, maintain constant communication between everybody. You gotta just, you know, tell the process of what's going on, where we're at, you know, right? So you got to report to everybody. You got to avoid the conflicts, you know, like, or the questions. Hey, what are you doing with this? Oh, hey, what are you doing with that? So, and then you got to be a good communicator even under stress, right?
Yeah.
So that is why I believe there's got to be a proper compensation in place, right? There's got to be a proper structure on how to compensate this job, because I don't know about you, that sounds like a hard one. Like you imagine the requirements for this one. Just
It is a highly qualified job,
it's a
and
highly
it's like
qualified job.
it's like you hire anyone, like your friend or maybe like someone, and they don't know any of these or like only one of these. Like they're good at everything, but they're like not emotionally fit to talk to the family in the worst case scenario, because it is a very crucial time. People are expecting a lot of things, you know, when it comes to will. Like, yeah, my dad loved me the most, or my grandfather loved me the most. I am the weakest in the family. I need the most, and that guy comes in, and then the how he spills out everything. If it's not connected, you still fail. You
Mhm.
still fail to emotionally connect to your family. So it's a very very important job, no doubt. And always I think the best person to do is a professional. Find a good lawyer to do it. I will always recommend to do it. But if you don't want to like pay much or something, at least find a good friend who can do it for you, a good acquaintance, but who's also qualify for at least three or four of these things, or give him heads up that hey, you are the one next in line. You will be doing this job for me. Prepare well, or know the people, or these are the people. Like this is my lawyer, this is my accountant, this is my this, and these are my CRA login credentials which are available there. So giving out information before will make the job easy for him and for the one whose will has to be executed.
That's right. That's right. And then, like you can actually, like what Gareth was mentioned, you can actually hire more than just one person that they can work together. And so because there's a long list of things to do, that is probably one of the best options. And then obviously having a proper, fixed fee for whatever you work, you get properly compensated. And I believe that this can take out most of it. Obviously, again, it's you don't know the job until the job comes.
Is there? Yeah.
You can't really predict it as well because again, with the emotional side of things, you can't predict what the family is going to do. It could be as smooth as a sheet of ice, or it can just be a bumpy road, right? So you don't know, but you got to be prepared for that as well, right? And so if you hiring somebody, I believe if hire somebody that is already used to being a manager of some sort, has done some type of managing work, because he can deal with the emotions, he can deal with other delegating other things, right?
Yeah.
So I like what I want to stress is hire the proper executor and treat it like a job, and that will protect your family, that will protect the state, and it will protect your relationship, even if you're gone, right? And so, because have you like the questions that I want to hand with this is, have you ever clearly explained to your executor what the actual job involves and asked them if they're willing to do it? That's actually a good thing too, is have you asked them, are you willing to do this for me? And just ask them to be honest, right? Like you just don't want to put them when you're in your deathbed and you're just like, hey, can you be my executor, please? And it's like, how is somebody not going to say no to you, right? No, just come in a nice, calm way, take them out for dinner or something, and just ask, right? And if it's multiple people, just take them all out for dinner, right? Like just do something and be truthful, right? You have anything to add, Gareth?
No. Everything said
was pretty to explanatory.
The point. Yes. Nothing to be added.
Okay, so let's go through a mock example. Again, big disclaimer. This is just a sample. What I did, I asked ChatGPT or AI. You can ask any. I like ChatGPT because it's more for writing, and it has quite the information. But also Claude is starting to pick up as well for getting help. But again, this is just a mock-up, a sample that I did the other day, and just to create a clear idea. Oh my God, it's not that complicated. It's not complicated, but it's just complicated to start. Some people don't have the mindset, and so that's why I wanted to do this how, because okay, I get it, Rico. I get that I have to have my will, but it's too hard, or I gotta go and hire a lawyer to do it. It's just complicated. No, you don't have to hire a lawyer. You just have to have the proper things in place, right?
Yeah.
And the worst case scenario, just go to a notary and get it checked over if you don't feel comfortable with it. But you don't have to spend thousands of dollars.
And we have, just letting everyone know, with Expedia Financial Group, we have a referral also. And we also have a bunch of lawyers in our group who work for really good price. Let's say not cheap, but really cost effective. So if anyone doesn't know that they don't have anyone in the circle to basically get their will checked, they're most welcome to reach out to us, to Rico or me, and we will definitely get you connected with the right person who will get this done or get this checked with you for a very, very low prices.
Right. And then it's always good to be prepared,
Yeah.
because then it's like, then you have prepared questions. It's like, hey, AI told me this, but then you have a confirmation from an
Yeah.
actual professional.
Yeah.
And it's always the case. Whenever you're in doubt, ask a professional, right?
Ask a professional. Yeah.
Yeah, ask. Don't feel like money is the issue, because that will restrict how where
Yeah.
you're gonna go, right? Like,
Yes.
if you want to protect 100,000, would you be spending $1,000 to get proper preparation in place? Probably. That's only 1%, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if we're talking about assets of homes, and now homes are not $100,000,
Millions.
we're in the millions. So
Million dollars.
if I asked you, okay, are you willing to spend $5,000 to be prepared? Probably you say yes, right?
Yeah.
And to protect your family from the government, hello, that's
Yes. Why
money
not?
well invested. You probably
Yes.
had worse investments than that, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let's take a look at this at the
Hmm.
will. I think is it say that, yeah, it's saved there. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna take a look on my screen, because okay, so again, this is for educational purposes. This is not legal advice. And for people that are listening to the show, I will read it out for you. It's not too much, but and we mocked it up with our previous example a few months ago. We were looking at the finances of the Sprout family.
Yeah.
So this is the will that Jesse did. So, last will and testament of Jesse Sprout. I, Jesse Sprout of Kelowna, British Columbia, being of sound mind and memory, do hereby declare this to be my last will and testament. This document is created for the educational demonstration purposes only and reflects personal research and intent, not legal advice. Okay, so the first thing you do in the will is you revoke prior wills with prior
Hmm.
dates. So this puts out the latest of the wills. So I hereby revoke all prior wills, codicils, and testamentary documents previously made by me. Now, who's the family? Obviously, he's just leaving to the family, but if there's other people that he would want to leave to, they would probably be listed here. So it's full disclosure. And it's Lily Sprout, Oliver Sprout, Vancouver, British Columbia, Emma Sprout, Kamloops, British Columbia.
And
These
also,
would include,
want to add something here. If someone wants to leave something from charity, then that's the point where you add them. Let's say
yes,
you want to leave for a orphanage house or an old age home, you have to mention clearly about their details. Like, this is the location, this is the place where you have to basically deposit or transfer this amount, and for what purpose. Like, you want to give out more beds to the orphanage house, or maybe you want to fund education for 10 people. So you can define that thing also in your will. And so many people ask, like, hey, I want to do some charity once I'm gone. How you will do it? You will do it through your wills. If you want to do
that's
it after you pass away,
that is
if you want
beautiful,
to,
because
you want to live
yeah,
while you're living, it's your money. You can do any time. But if you want to leave money once you want to pass away, then you mention it at this point. This is very important. You
super
mention.
important, because a lot of people don't realize too that if you leave to charity, you can have a tax deduction as well. And instead of giving the money to the government, you are
Yeah,
actually giving it to the charity of your choice.
exactly. That is
Boom,
very important.
mic drop. Super
Yeah,
important. Super,
yes,
super important.
super important.
And then another important part is the appointment of the executor. I appoint Gerald Greenfield as the executor of my estate. If Gerald Greenfield is unable or willing to act, I appoint Harold Petalbrook as alternate executor. I have discussed the responsibility of this role with the above individual and intend that the executor act with full knowledge of the scope of work involved. Super important. Hire the proper person. We can't stress that. And again, we put them in the will. I mean, ChatGPT put it in the will, but I still think that's huge, because that it makes you realize, like the people that you're leaving your estate to. Hey, look, oh wow, it's got all this to do. Wow, that's a big job. Okay.
Yeah.
The executor responsibility include, but are not limited to, administrative duties and filings, management of financial account and cash flow, coordination of tax obligations, retention of professional advisors as needed, communication with family members, stewardship of farm operation during transition. The executor shall have full authority to act in accordance with this will. It actually, becomes the next you, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And the executor compensation must be stated if you want proper execution, in a sense. My executor shall be fairly compensated for service rendered. Compensation should be paid from the estate and may be structured as a reasonable fixed fee, or a reasonable percentage of estate value, or professional billing where applicable. This compensation reflects the time, responsibility, and complexity of the role. Okay, and so here we go, and we state the farm and business assets, right? My farm assets include, but are not limited to, land, 5 acres of hayfield, 3 acres of cherry orchard, 2 acres of apple orchard, and so on and so forth. You want to put everything to the detail that includes land or homes into the will. The equipment, tractor, just plot an inventory. You'll have to do this for insurance purposes anyways, so might as well do it for your will as well, right? So equipment, tractor, hay baler, irrigation system, utility trailers, standard hand tools, and farm implements, right? Everything has to be accounted for. Livestock, which is not spoken about, right? But also the livestock, who's getting it, right? And this is easy to liquidate in a sense, right? Or easy to steal if it's competing farmers, or there's issues in the family. So to have proper stock inventory, that's even important, right? So 12 lane hands, 4 dairy goats. We're just making a quick example, but obviously your list is probably more detailed than that. Who gets the dog, right? I've even heard of fights over who got the dog.
Who got the dog?
Who got the dog? Okay, so direction for farm operation. It is my intent that farm operations continue during the transition period. The executor shall maintain farm operation, evaluate crops annually, retain agricultural, legal, and financial professionals as needed, avoid forced liquidation of land, equipment, or livestock unless absolutely necessary, right? So that's clear intent, right? It's stated, hey, I don't want my farm to be sold. I want it to continue. If it can't continue, let's find, I appoint the executor to find a way to continue it, unless, obviously every situation is different. But succession and transition of the farm. It is my intent that the farm's transition within the Sprout family. The farm should pass to my son, Oliver Sprout, as first heir once he reaches an age and level of maturity suitable to the responsibly operate the farm. If Oliver Sprout declines or is unable to accept this responsibility, the farm should pass to my daughter, Emma Sprout, as second heir. Until such a transition is complete, the executor shall act as the steward of the farm. And we might also say appoint someone to the farm as well. The The right of residence for my spouse. My spouse, Lily Sprout, shall have unrestricted lifetime use and residence on the farm property. No sale or forced relocation shall occur during her lifetime unless she chooses otherwise. This right exists regardless of ownership transfer. So there is places where you can actually say, hey, my wife is allowed to stay there. Obviously, we're thinking long term
Yeah.
for the future, but it's a good thing to say that, and you're passing on the farm to your kids, but maybe the kids don't want to have your wife there. But once you put this and it's clear, this is how it's gonna get executed, right? So financial assets and intent. My financial assets include accounts held at Harvest Horizon Credit Union, accounts held at Fieldstone Community Bank, investments held at New Age Bank and Evergreen Financial. Outstanding obligation include equipment loan with Plowshare Lending, operating line of credit. That's important, right? You got to state your debts too. A lot of people go, "Oh, what happened to the tractor loan? Where did that go?" Right? And then all of a
Yep.
sudden the tractor loan doesn't get paid, it goes in default. They either come and take your equipment, or they just accumulate the interest and you pay,
Yep.
failure, and then all of a sudden you're paying twice for your tractor, right? So that's why it's good to mention it into your will. It is my intent that financial assets remain within the family where possible for supporting my spouse's lifetime needs, farm operation, executor responsibility. Remaining assets shall be distributed to my children. Personal property. My grandfather's ring should be distributed to Oliver Sprout. Family photo albums should be shared equally between my children. Remaining personal property shall be distributed as agreed upon by my heirs. So there is another statement, right? Like everything, personal property. A lot of
Yep.
people don't think about that, right? All your accounts, links, your Facebook page. Okay, so end of life instruction. I wish for my remains to be buried in a licensed cemetery, preferred cemetery, meadow rest memorial gardens, mock-up example. I acknowledge that burial on private land is generally not permitted under the current regulations. I just wanted to make a joke out of this because we used to bury our ancestors on properties, on your own
Yeah.
properties, but that
Yeah.
creates a tie to the land, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like you're not going to sell your property if your great great grandfather was buried there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, in a sense, it does create this legacy and continuity. But
Mm-hmm.
now, now I just researched it up that it's actually not legal to do, and if you do, it creates a lot of problems and issues for land transfer.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, this is interesting. This rabbit hole. And then it was saying that you would have to apply for having a licensed cemetery
Mm-hmm.
permit. So I was like, oh, interesting. Anyways, but we can talk about it later. But you can spread the ashes onto your land. That's not considered burying. So guardianship, if applicable, super, super important. Your kids, if something was to happen to either your wife or or the man of the house, it's super important to name the guardianship, because if you don't name it, guess who gets your kids? Exactly, the government.
The
And
government.
we're all happy with the government. If applicable, I nominate Rosemary Fielding as guardian for my minor children. Governing law. This will shall be governed and interpreted in accordance with the laws of British Columbia. And then signatures. Look at this. Witnesses, and it's done. It's
Yeah.
done. It's not that crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty simple, but
Very
obviously you
simple.
have to take the proper steps, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're over the hour, but um, not to say that we're coming to the end. So thank you so much for watching. This, I hope, was instructive and it gave you a little bit of an idea of what should go on a will. Thanks, Guara, for joining us. And
Thanks
it's
for
good to
having
have you
me.
back.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
good to be back.
yeah, I love the energy that you bring to the show, and you know,
Thanks.
and thank you for the guests out there that have watched this. I hope that was helpful. I mean,
Yeah,
not for I know some of the people that are watching the show, they're probably already prepared.
yeah.
To whoever is not prepared, and you know how to reach us, contact us. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we're on YouTube. So it's not that hard to find. Both me and Gaurav, we have very unique names, so it's pretty easy to do a little search and get in touch with us. Um, if you have questions, feel free to ask us offline, and I'll bring them up next show on how to make a will. If you want this, like this mock-up will that I just made here, I can send it to you. Not a problem. Again, disclaimer: it's not legal advice. I hope you got something out of this show. Tune in. Loved your comments, loved your questions, and thank you so much for watching Farmers in Finance. Gareth, you want to say anything today?
No, Rico, good to be back. As a one of the most, again, we cover what is important and what is not known to normal people. So I hope whoever is watching this or whoever will watch this will get good knowledge. And again, I'll say bring this knowledge to action. And knowledge without action is of no use. Okay. So yes, go get your wills done, and it is a very important integral part of your financial planning and for your family future. So again, good night, good morning
Good night,
from
good morning.
good night, good night, good morning, good night from India, and good morning for BC.
Yeah, great point. Get your will done. Get your
Yeah,
will done. All right.
get it well done. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Rico. See you.
Okay.
Bye
No
bye. See
problem.
you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.